From Traverse City, welcome to live coverage of the Traverse City Track Club Bayshore. Here's your host, Up North Live Sports Director, Harrison Beebe.
Hey everybody, good morning, happy Saturday, happy welcome to Memorial Day weekend, and Lisa Taylor, welcome to another edition of the Bayshore Marathon. The sun is just kicking in on our faces as our broadcast starts, and our timing could not be better as we have our first winner, right first cross of the finish line. Luke Venhuizen, a former Traverse City Central track runner, winning the 10K race, clocking in at I don't know which time is accurate.
31:08.
He's 31. Okay, I'm on the right.
31:08 winning
Luke
time.
Venhuizen went to Traverse City Central, so you won a lot of races on this track already. We're here at the Traverse City Central High School track. And Lisa, you were just telling me, I knew he went to the University of Michigan to run. He just won the 5K at the Big Ten Championships.
Big Ten Conference, second at the 5K. Yeah,
wow.
He's had a great sophomore year in college running,
and he's starting
Division One
at major Division One. I'm talking the University of Michigan here, and just started off his summer with a win in the Bayshore Marathon 10K. So great weekend for him, and hey, welcome to everybody at home joining us for our second year of our live stream of the Bayshore Marathon here at the base of the Old Michigan Peninsula. Harrison Beebe, Sports Director at Up North Live. Lisa Taylor, gracious enough to join us again.
Good to be with you.
We go way back, and it was such a good thing to know that you were willing to come back again, because not only is Lisa a great co-host, but she's also an extraordinary of all things Bayshore. You're head of the track club for, remind me again, it was well over 20 years.
I was there for 6 years and
but you've
involved for well over 30 years.
It seems like, I mean, you know running in Traverse City inside and out.
I love it.
And this is kind of one of the things that's really motivated. You were head coach of the Traverse City Central Girls Track Program for you. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That's the
right.
Or something. That's where I know her from. She just had our second place run across from 10K here. So the crowd's already pumped up. The music is pumped up. This is the day. A lot of people, we started our broadcast last year talking about how people put in months and months. Some people put in years of training for these events. Really, just tell us from what you've known throughout the years, what really goes into making the Bayshore Marathon a bucket list item for a lot of people.
Well, to get back to the big picture of training for an event like this, like you said, most of these people really do run year-round. It's a part of their lifestyle. It's kind of like brushing their teeth. If they don't get their run in, they don't feel quite right. And so it's, for the runners, this is an early season event. It kind of kicks off the summer of racing in northern Michigan. The weather's a little better for running when we don't have snow on the ground and slippery roads. And so the runners, they're preparing for something like this year round. In terms of the preparation for this event, that goes on year round as well too. As soon as we're done with this event, the organizers, the Traverse City Track Club and its staff will get together and discuss, what worked, what didn't work, how can we improve. Always trying to be improving and making it better all the time. And in its 42nd year, I think the general mentality is we're not there yet. We got to keep working to make this the best event we can be.
Which is good, because 42 years is a long time. 1983, right?
Right. That was the inaugural year
that things started up, and we know 2020 was a year where things had to be put by the wayside because of COVID. But besides that, every year I've been going strong right here at the base of the Old Michigan Peninsula let people know who aren't aware. The start of the races for the 10K and the marathon were here. The half marathoners bust out to what's the location?
So we head out 13 miles up the peninsula, the Old Michigan Peninsula, and there is this little road called Devil's Dive. And the race starts there. They're bust out all morning long, like you said. And it's just a beautiful run in all along the shore with the sun on your left, the water on your left.
Hopefully the sun was on.
Yeah. And so, they start out there, and some of the half marathon men will be in an hour or so, just over an hour. Mm-hmm. The women right around 1:15, 1:20. It's about 3,500 runners in the half marathon.
Yeah, it's a big number, as it always is.
Right.
Yeah, I think I researched 70 7,400 runners total for all 3 races, which is just an astronomical number to think about. And you almost want to double or triple that based on people that will be here for spectating purposes. Because you probably estimate 1 or 2 people at least for every runner on average.
Right. Yeah.
Some will have a lot more.
Here we have the female winner.
Okay.
This is it Erica Fleur?
She won last year. Is that our same champion?
It looks like
it is.
Oh, easily. Erica Fleur is twin to Catherine Fleur, who's out running the half marathon.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And Erica just ran a 35:50.
According to the clock, it's right around 36. But obviously, we're here at the finish line just like you guys are, monitoring all these winners. And, the 10K started about 7:30, so a little over a half hour ago. And they are coming through. And, for 8 a.m., it is noisy here at the base of the track between the announcers and the fans. And I have a feeling it's going to get noisy. I remember when Zach Ripley, the men's champion, crossed the finish line last year. And we actually caught up with him earlier this week. Learned a lot about his attempt at a three-peat for this event today. So we'll see how Zach does in just a little bit. But, I remember that crowd blowing up when he crossed. Right. He ran a course record. 2 hours, 16 minutes, I believe 35 seconds, give or take, was the record time that Zach said. And I joked to him, I'm like, you going to be going for that time again this year? He's like, well, I'm going to be honest with you, that might have been a lightning in a bottle type of moment. But, hey, you never know. Conditions are what they are. Everything seems, running-wise, sun or clouds, temperature was almost perfect for a runner
this is
today. Perfect conditions
for runners. The forecast was pretty spot on. Thank you, Joe Charlevoix, right? We paid him off pretty good. Yeah. I think the start temperature was about 57, and the sun is just now starting to come out. This is great for the 10K runners. They're didn't have to deal with heat at all. Right. The marathon runners, we're hoping that temp can stay down below 60. Sun can stay behind the clouds a little bit because heat is probably the first thing that will take down a marathoner. And so if we can keep it right here at about 67, partly cloudy, we'll be good. Right. Avoid the rain, mostly for us, but and that sunlight is really kind of a nice extra bonus here at the end for a lot of these runners, in a cloudy race that they've had this whole time, to get that sunlight right at the end. I know, extra motivator, get them across that finish line, whatever it takes. But 6 big races today, plus we know the kids race is always a big event at 1:30 this afternoon. So, I mean, this event really is, the be-all, end-all for competitive racing up here in northern Michigan. Right. I know the Cherry Festival race is up there as well, but something about the Bayshore, it has that, ambiance to it that makes it the signature. But that makes the reason why 7,000 plus people race it every year. So, Lisa, tell us of your earliest memories. I know we picked your brain on this last year, but what was it like, back in those first few years you were being a part of this event? What do you remember from it, your takeaways, and how has it changed to what it's become here today? So when we first moved here in 89, we started becoming involved. So I would be talking not the very first years, but starting in 89, we had maybe 200 marathon finishers. The half had not been established yet. Half marathons were kind of an odd distance. People are like, what is a half marathon? 13.1. So it wasn't until 2007 that we started the half marathon. But I do remember standing at the finish line of the marathon with one of those handheld tape machines that you punch a button every time a runner crosses the line, and the tape would spit out of the little machine, and that was like your official result. There were no chips, nothing electronic was involved, and so it was really kind of a by hand process. And you're gonna say old school, but I guess in this day and age, old school is probably an appropriate term. Yeah, well, right. It's like doing your math by hand on your homework. You got to show your work, show how you got there. You had to show how you added up your time for each competitive race. But I mean, throughout the decades, to see how just technology has influenced so many sporting events, but especially the running. I was joking with somebody the other day that when I ran competitively in high school, we had the chips on our shoes.
And I was like,
Yeah,
do they
that
still
was-
do the chips? And they're like, no, everything's on the bib now, right? It's a little
Right?
circuit chip.
It's like the size of a Band-Aid.
Mhm.
It goes right on the bib. And with that chip, some of the things you can do is you can get out your smartphone, use the app to track a runner, punch in their number, and you can see this dot moving across your screen that is your runner, and you can really keep track of where they
It's
are.
like if you
in
chip
real
your
time.
pet and you want to know where your pet is at all times. It's the same way with a runner.
Exactly.
That's it.
Very similar. Oh, there's Roger.
17 years old,
A bunch of the high school runners and some local runners are going by. We've had about 5 women in now, and we're at 41:07. That's a very decent time.
Mhm.
Anytime a female can go under 40 for the 10K, that's excellent.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's looking like I believe we are looking for our next Masters runner at the finish line, which is likely to be maybe one of our local women, Jamie Hollinsworth. We'll see if she makes it in. But yeah, so the you are asking me about the evolution of the event. It's really, if you compare it to 35 years ago when I first became involved, it was just a teeny tiny little race, and there was no technology. There were, we didn't get to hear this great music, and
Music is key. I think that's
Yeah.
another thing that gets people across the finish
so
line.
it's really evolved a lot all across the world. This is not just a local thing. Races all over the world are just, it's a great place to be.
Well, and obviously you can qualify for the Boston Marathon with a time here, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was going to talk a little bit about that. Since the very beginning, this event has been certified, which means efforts have been taken to make sure that the course is accurate. And so there is a procedure that's followed that's overseen by the United States Track and Field Association. And in order to be a certified course, you have to really make sure that it's accurately measured. And so these people out here doing this 10K, this half, this marathon, are running an accurate course. And I don't think a lot of courses up north here have been certified. And so that is one thing that really makes it special, different from some of the other events. So I think the organizers are really proud of that through the years of making sure that we have an accurate course.
So, Lisa, do me a quick favor. I see our 10K winners are both right
Yeah,
here. I'm
let's
wondering
bring
if
them
they
in.
think we are grabbing them. So
Yeah.
why don't you go check? I'll hold your microphone for you. Why don't you go check with them? Luke Venheisen and Erica Fleur, I believe, were the 10K finishers today, and they're right to our left. So Lisa's going to touch base with them. We can pull them over for a little bit. I have a feeling like they maybe want to talk about the successes they just accomplished here. As we just mentioned, Luke, former Traverse City Central Trojan, and we're bringing them right in. Hey guys, you want to both come in? Yeah, we'll pin it right in the middle. And Lisa, you want to jump to one side? It's Erica, right? Because your twin sister, is she running today too? Okay, so we'll get this done quick. So Erica, we'll start with you. Erica Fleur, 10K champion for the Bayshore race today. What was it like out there? Obviously, weather was pretty comfortable running-wise, but you come out with the win. It's got to make you feel pretty good to start the weekend.
Yeah, it was fun. This race is always a ton of fun. And coming back, even though there was a bit of a headwind, everybody was cheering, so that made it really fun. But I really wanted the course record, but I'll have to come back next year for that. But yeah, it was fun.
It's about those little incentives that bring us back from work. And Luke, I know I've talked with you in the past. We're both Traverse City Central alumni. You a little bit faster than I've ever been, but you've had a busy month. Lisa was just telling me you were the 5K champion for the runner-up. Oh, all right, runner-up. Okay, she did say runner-up, so my apologies. I missed it. Yeah, I'm just giving you that incentive to go for that title next year. And now you start the Memorial Day weekend here with the 10K championship. I'm assuming this was your goal to come out on top, and it looked like you were ahead of second place here by a good minute or so, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I was. He was a Michigan alum as well. It was just fun to come home and run in front of the home crowd. Kept me going out there. So it was very exciting.
You guys are both very skilled runners. You know, what goes into making the decision of the 10K, the half, or the full?
For me, my twin sister was running the half, so we wanted to like both win again potentially. So I let her. She would probably beat me in the half. So I was like, I'll run the 10K, and she was gonna do the half.
One of these years, we need the floor race off, though. We want to see a one-on-one, see who comes out on top. Yeah, just putting that in your brain. Luke, what made the 10K the option you wanted to do?
I'm still in track shape, and half marathon's a little too long for right now. So I just stayed with the shorter distance and ran the 10K.
That makes sense. And you're a guy that's going to soon have a degree from the University of Michigan, so
Yep.
I'm going to let you stick with the smart decisions. And I'm going to be happy I'm monitoring from the sidelines, and my committed racing days are over. Those are nice medals, by the way, guys, too. I like the logos this year. So cool.
So what's next for you, Luke?
I'm going to take my break and then get ready for cross country in the fall.
How about you, Erica?
I'm doing the mini 10K in New York, the women's only 10K in Central Park, and then my sister and I are going to Spain to do like a trail running, like vacation hut to hut thing. But yeah, so some time off, and then we're both running Berlin in the fall. Yeah.
Are you going to try to do all the majors?
Eventually, probably, yeah. Getting there.
Well, congratulations. I didn't double check the course records. Are either of you aware? Okay. All right. Well, good job. Next time, right?
Yeah, hey, it's all about the top place, and wherever the podiums went, they had them here. But, yep, congrats again, guys. Thanks again for being a part of the event, and enjoy the rest of the races in the weekend.
Have a great day, you guys. Congratulations.
Thanks for the few minutes. All right, we got our first two champions in the books. We got four more we want to talk to before this morning is over. Of course, we have the two-camera setup. I can't see the two-camera setup, but I know we have one camera on Lisa Taylor and myself. We have another camera being run by our reporter, Audrey Boucher, on the other side of the finish line that hopefully you're catching a lot of people you've wanted to tune in and see cross the finish line here, because we have 10Kers flooding in. I'm still trying to figure out. So, Lisa, do you know which clock is which? This one must be the 10K.
The right
Oh,
side
labeled.
is the
Okay.
10K, and the left
Half.
is the half.
Okay.
So we're at 47:30 with the 10K.
And then once a bunch of the 10Kers switch out, they'll turn that to the full.
Yeah, the 10K runners right now are probably really thinking about breaking 50. I said earlier that sub 40 is really good for women. Breaking 50 for all people is a big goal these days with the 10K distance. It's 6.2 miles. And so these people are running a very decent pace to hit a sub 50. They would definitely be good
45
risk.
would be 7:30 a mile.
Good job.
If I
Good job.
remember from
Yeah.
my running days. So if that's tough for you to do 1 mile, these guys are doing 6.2's worth of around that pace.
All right. Yeah, they're looking
But yeah,
good.
we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, this is a bucket list item for a lot of people, whether it's the 10K, the half, or the full marathon. And really, we also mentioned last year, this is kind of the stat that not enough people realize, but it's called the Bayshore Marathon, but it's the half marathon that is like the hot ticket.
Right.
That's the one you have to be there right at the start of ticket sales, or you're going to miss out. You're going to have to get in from somebody else's entry fee.
Right.
So what do you think makes the half a more intriguing, and it was interesting because you just mentioned how, 10, 20 years ago, the half wasn't even really a factor in what they were doing here.
So the half is very difficult. Either way you look at it, it's going to be hard, but it's more doable than the full marathon. There's something unusual. Well, there's some scientific things that we know about what happens, inside the body when you do something of a duration of more than 3 hours. And so the average person these days, it's really good to run a marathon in under 5 hours. And so 5 hours, energy expenditure for 5 hours is very difficult, requires a much bigger commitment to train for. A half marathon, it's long, but it's in terms of the stress and the time that you need to take to be prepared for it, it's more doable for a lot of people. So it's a good starting point for people who are just getting into the long distance events like 10K and above would be considered the longer events.
Well, I would love for this race to get to the point where the marathon is that hot a ticket too, but I understand the logic of, okay, I'll do the 13.1 miles, and then if I'm feeling it later on, I'll get to the 26.2. But either way, no short. All 3 races were sold out, so they're not hurting for entries.
Yeah, for many years, half marathon growth was really far exceeding marathon growth, and then marathon growth kind of leveled off probably about 10 years ago. But it'll be interesting to see if half marathon will continue to grow the way it has. Running in general is growing at a small rate, but the half marathon worldwide is kind of the big event.
That's the new thing now.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like golf when they say, hey, play 18 holes. I don't have time to play 18 holes. That's 4 hours. Golfing 9 holes is becoming more of a common thing. I know the PGA kind of pushes that, so it's probably a similar thing that what you're referring to is like, it's something, especially if adults have families and kids, it might be a little easier to get that half marathon training program.
Yep, that's kind of how it works.
Because you commit to a 4, 5, 6 hour race. That's a lot of time for prep.
Oh yeah, and the typical training program for a marathon has to be usually right around 16 weeks at the minimum. Some people are okay with a little bit less than that, but it's like a year-long commitment to be ready to train for a marathon. And half marathon's a little bit more doable. 10K more doable than the half. 5Ks are very popular because a lot of people can just kind of jump into a 5K.
Right. There's a lot of, you can get a wide range of
preparation.
participants in a 5K.
Correct.
That's some people's bucket list item. That's a lot of people's just, hey, that's what's going to get me some exercise for the week or whatnot, or the race for the year. And that's the great thing about running. It gives people a wide range of, options for what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, what they want to earn that medal or that free scooper. They still have Moomoo's ice cream here. I know that was a hot item. Okay.
It is here.
The
It's on the other side.
that was always my favorite part of finishing a race, is you'd have the wide selection of fruit and bagels and ice cream and whatever you really wanted to snack on that you were craving throughout that race to reload those carbs. So I give you another little bonus reminder that you're appreciated after you cross that finish line, which obviously we're monitoring here. A bunch more 10Kers walk through. We're getting probably about 10 minutes or so away from our first half marathon.
Yeah,
cross,
I think we're at 50, 53:49. Yeah, we should see maybe in about 10 to 15 minutes, we should see our mail.
Close, so I'll go ahead. I got my cheat sheet here. Johnny Crane won a year ago in the half marathon at 1 hour, 4 minutes, 27 seconds. So we'll monitor around that time. And the female winner last year, well, I don't have the female winner, but I have the female course record.
Okay.
Was 1:15:08, so back in 2010.
So that was that Catherine Fleur, the twin sister of Erica?
Erica was our repeat winner in the 10K.
Okay.
So Erica won last year at 35:29. And then
That's
that was
the course record.
Luke was chasing. That's what sports guys do, we make little, just like in high school, we make little cheat sheets before our big exams.
Right, good job.
And since I went to high school right across the way here, I might as well relive those glory days. But yeah, great to see Luke, log so many, pun intended, miles on this track and be, as we mentioned, runner-up at the Big Ten championships for the 5K. I mean, I knew he was talented in high school. I looked over the boards of the top 10 times yesterday when I was here, and I know his name's on there a lot. But yeah, to finish runner-up at a Big Ten championship race, it not only shows you made the right decision to compete with the big boys, but also cements just how great Traverse City Central and Northern Michigan running programs are as a whole, which I think for people like us is probably the thing we take the most pride in.
Yes. There's a great transition of many great distance runners that have gone and run in college. Let's see, we are at 55 for the half marathon, and we are at 54:32 for the 10K. So we are seeing a lot of people cross this line. They're all, that's the thing that's really cool about running is you have your fast people and you have your not so fast people, but all of them are putting in the same amount of mental effort, and they're feeling the same amount of effort, no matter whether they're going, 55 minutes or 35 minutes. It's one of the things about fitness that's really unique is it's so personal and it's so relative. It's so individual fitness. And honestly, from being a runner myself, I know that when I was in shape to be able to run a 16-minute 5K, it didn't feel any different than when I just ran a 24-minute 5K.
I would have thought it'd be a little easier to run the 24-minute one.
No, it wasn't. It was just as hard.
I'm gonna, for my 5K experiences, I'm going to say the 16:40 that I logged in the state finals my sophomore year felt a little tougher than the 24-minute one I might have done a few years after. But
Well, you weren't working hard enough. You weren't pushing hard enough
I
when
guess
you did
not.
24.
Maybe on that 24,
Right.
yeah. But I just have those nightmares of all those state finals just flashing in my brain of all those running. But that's kind of like today. You just get to see it, people. And that's also a great motivator, though, too, is to have everybody around you. You know, people wonder where they're going to get that extra oomph to finish a race like this. And it kind of helps. You got somebody right along with you that you know has been striving for the same goal as you.
Right.
I think that stuff kind of comes into play. Just another factor that gets you to the end of the line, which we are parked at. We'll reset our setup here. Lisa Taylor, former head of the Traverse City Track Club for, I thought it was a lot more than, you said 6-7 years, huh?
Oh, what? That I was ED here at the club? Yeah, I was 2017 to 2023. Yeah,
So 6-7 years with the official title, but
Right.
I mean, like you said, you've been involved with the Bayshore Marathon here since the late 80s.
Right.
89 is that?
Yep.
So that's 35 years off the top of my head. So a big event to obviously be involved in it. And let's talk about a little bit to the volunteers. How many volunteers does it go into making it between pack and pickup, race setup, security? You know, tell me off the top of your head if you have any of that information.
Yeah.
How many volunteers does it take to put on an event of this magnitude?
I don't know the exact number, but I do know it's over 1,000. And one of the things that's really unique about Bayshore Marathon and our community is that sort of the model of this program is to bring in volunteer groups that are made up of nonprofit organizations and their members. These groups come out and work the event every year, and they come out and work the event every year, and they know how to do it right, and they get paid for it. And as a nonprofit, it's for some of these organizations that are out here, there's over 30. There's probably about $50,000 that's paid to these work groups. So it's a really great way for the Traverse City Track Club to give back to the community in a meaningful way that is a win-win situation for both the nonprofit that's helping and to help the Bayshore put on a really great event, because volunteers are the face of the event.
Right.
And they are the people that help make the event special. It's those people that are volunteering that the runners talk about and think about. Those are the people that made the event really special for them. So.
And I think in my other notes, $2.5 million given back over the course of the 42 years.
Yes, that's an approximate
number. That's not a small number.
Right. Yeah, that's an approximate number, and that money consists of, the paid work groups that are out there volunteering. It also consists of a formal grant program where nonprofit organizations apply for funds that are available because of Bayshore. The profit from Bayshore goes into two things. One, giving back to the community, and two, operations for the organization so that it can keep thriving and continue to give back the money that it's really been a source of pride for all the people involved in this organization for 60, I think we're at 62 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that type of stuff adds to the uniqueness. Getting an update here from the announcer. The top female runner in the half right now is 2.5 miles out. Oh, I missed her name. Did you catch it?
I did. I missed her.
You know she's from Boulder, Colorado.
Okay, we got a big
Hang on just a sec.
So Lisa's gonna do what she does best. Check everything out for us. Well, we're here at the finish line for the Bayshore Marathon at Traverse City Central's Nice new track, and you guys can't see it at home, or maybe you can behind me. This is brand new turf field that the Trojans practice on for football every year, and that's making things comfy for Lisa and I as we stand sprung up here at the finish line, monitoring everything closely, but still a constant run of racers coming through here for the 10K. We just crossed the hour mark for their start time. So a big chunk of them coming through right now. Did you find any exclusive updates?
No, I did not.
That's all right.
I had my race director hat on. I'm
Your
not the race
source,
director anymore.
Dave Taylor, wasn't a good feedback for you?
No.
He's too focused on that Boston Marathon he just did a couple weeks ago.
Right. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Here
We've got to be really close to.
Years young.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Yeah, I was going to talk.
77 years young, and he's about to cross the finish line. Wow.
So we were
that's
talking
incredible.
earlier about your high school experience and everything. You know, the gateway to running for a lot of these people out here was their high school cross country or track and field experience. So there's a ton of people out there that had that awareness from youth, from when they were young, about how much they loved running. But so many of these people out here today started later in life and found their people, found their love for the training and the event and
Right, running kind of, I don't want to say, I don't want to throw around the midlife crisis. It's obviously a stereotype that people don't really want to get on. But as far as like looking for something to fill a void, like, in your 40s, in your 50s, you saw that 77-year-old cross the finish line. These people, whatever the age, some of them, stumble on running and they've thought for years, I'm not going to do that. That's not for me. I have no interest in running. I hate running. And yet they get into it and they find the addictive part of it. And what can really be gained from really literally logging those miles. So
right, yeah. And not only, some people do have that sense of, I have to do this every day, but a lot of people are out there doing it every day because they know about the health benefits of the running itself. I mean, so many of these people are adding longevity. They're helping bring their cholesterol levels down. They are keeping their muscle mass up. They're doing great things for themselves to help their quality of life be really awesome.
That's one of the underrated things for running. Yeah, you can set that goal of running that race time, but even just every little mile you log goes a long way towards just being beneficial for you overall. So if you've ever thought about giving it a try, maybe an event like this today, watching on Facebook right now motivates you. Hey, maybe next year, 2025, be my year to throw my name in the hat and be a part of that atmosphere. I'm sure it happened last year, right? I don't want to take credit, but maybe some folks saw our Facebook live stream a year ago and thought, hey, maybe that could be me next year. Maybe they're out here right now. 7,400, that's a lot of people.
Well, and hopefully we're not blocking the way for you to see all these sizes, shapes.
Well, we got the two cameras going.
Yeah.
The other camera down there. So, everybody's got a good vantage point of this finish line, which we should harp on right before the men's half marathon. Right before we started our broadcast today, it was so windy, the finish line blew over.
Yes, I'm glad to see that's hanging up.
Tarped finish line just came right, and Adam, our director, was joking. Maybe that'll be a hurdle for them to have to jump over at the end. Thankfully, that hasn't been the case since the finishers have crossed, but right before it. And that's another, how I knew the volunteers here really care. There were about 10, 20 people that immediately jumped on that as if it was the biggest emergency they could possibly imagine. In a lot of ways, a giant finish line like that, it is, because you want to be able to cross your finish line in a smooth process. And, thankfully, by the time Luke got here, everything was ship shape, ready to go, and even better. There's familiar face, my angle. Are you? All right. We're gonna bring in a special guest from Up North Live right now. Just chat with us real quick. My angle running your third straight 10K, correct?
Correct.
All right. And how did it go this time around?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to my co-anchor, Mark Chillette. He really helped me out with just like the training because he's ran marathons and stuff. So the past couple years when I've ran the 10K, I start off really strong. Then by like 3 miles, like dying, I start to walk. But this time, I listened to Mark's advice. I took it slow the first couple hours. I actually finished slower than I have in the past 2 years, but I didn't stop. I ran the entire time, and I feel good. Wow, the first marathon runner just finished.
Right here. The red bib at 1:05:20. No, that's the 10K time. Excuse me. 1:06:28 for the half marathon. So that's our first half marathoner across the line for the morning. Many more to come, but yep, that's a spectacular time.
That's hard to comprehend. That was like 5 minutes slower than my 10K time. Wow.
And to know they started all the way out, 13 miles out on the peninsula before getting going.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Good for them.
But your third 10K, good experience overall then?
It was really good. I feel good. I didn't get sick. I had a little incident last year after running where I sprinted at the end and I couldn't handle that. So this year was a lot better. I feel good. I'm ready to eat some Moomer's ice cream though.
We were hyping up the Moomers earlier, and you got a nice medal there as well.
Got a nice medal.
On the opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
But good hardware this year. Yep.
Probably should
Don't eat the whole thing. Put
gross.
it in your ice cream before you eat it. That'll make it a little easier to digest. All right, well, Maya, congrats.
Thank you.
Super proud of you. I know
Thanks
you put
so
a lot of
much.
work into this, and
Feels good.
I keep nudging her on to do one of the bigger races. We'll see. Maybe one of the.
I said
Not for her,
the past
but-
2 years, I'm like, oh, next year I'll run the half marathon. It's just not for me. Like, I'm not a runner. I do this because it's a fun environment. It's beautiful views. It's nice to hear all the people cheering you on. I saw a lot of dogs. That's really what kept me running. So many cute dogs. So I do it for those reasons, not to run.
What weather conditions did you like better? Because I know with the sun out last year it was really great, but I know a lot of people enjoyed the cooler temperatures this year. What did you think was better to run in?
I thought this year was better. It would have been nice to have some sunshine just for the views. The bay always looks so beautiful when the sun is shining down, but I love the clouds. I almost wish for a little bit of mist because it's a little humid out here, but it's a lot better than being too hot and too sunny. So good conditions, good environment. Just a beautiful day to be here in Traverse City.
All right, Maya, thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your weekend. You're off Monday, right?
I'm off Monday.
So, all right, you have a good 3-day weekend.
Thanks,
We'll
Harrison.
hold down the fort for you until
It's
then.
much fun.
That's always a tough thing to pull off. But Maya Engel, Up North Live, anchor extraordinaire, also logging the 10K today. We're missing Lisa. She's obviously probably tracking down that half marathon winner for us right now. So I'll continue to hold. Actually, I'm going to set her mic down real quick while we get back to it. So, yeah, the real runners, 10K runners still coming across that finish line, but we're monitoring. It looks like I spot another half marathon men's finisher right here. He's coming across right now. So the red bibs are the half marathon runners today. The green bibs for the 10K. 1:09:10. Pretty solid time there. So we're going to see the half marathon runners start crossing pretty soon. Our first female finisher for that event should be coming along in the next handful of minutes here. We're monitoring all that closely. Live here at the base of the Old Mission Peninsula, the Traverse City Central Track. It's such a great facility here. And I believe we have our men's half champion available to talk right now. Awesome. They're right to the side, so how's it going, my man? I didn't catch your name, but go ahead and tell us, since you're the half marathon champion for the Bayshore, tell us who you are, where you're from, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm Zach Truman. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Is this your first time running up here at this event, or have you been here before?
Second time. This is my second time.
Second time doing the half? Okay. So when did you last do it? Last year?
Yeah, I ran it last year. I got second, and I had a blast up here. It was a lot of fun.
So I take it that was the little carrot to get you to come back, try and get that first place title?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that was a big incentive, and yeah, I had a lot of fun today.
And if memory serves correct, you were 106, right?
Yeah, 106 lows, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to check.
Is that a best time for you? Or?
No, this is my second half marathon, and it's a little slower than last year, but I had a lot of fun.
Hey, the important part, when you're setting your own pace, it's kind of tough. And I know I've been in that situation where you're in a half marathon, you're dodging 10Kers. It's kind of a tough atmosphere to be a part of. But so yeah, you're talking about last year really drew you in. What about this event makes this kind of a must race?
Being in Traverse City is amazing. This is my second time up here, and it's beautiful. and it's a very nice route too. It's a lot of fun. The energy is great, so it makes me want to come back every year.
How did you first hear about the event? What made you want to get a part of it last year?
Well, I knew times from previous years, and they're pretty competitive, so I thought it'd be a good idea to throw my name in the hat and give it a shot.
And course conditions, I was asking one of our anchors who's just here running the 10K, asked you as a champion in one of the races, what weather conditions did you like better? Last year I had a lot of sunshine, but it was a little warmer. This year's kind of like that perfect running temperature, right?
Yeah, honestly, I thought last year was a little bit better conditions. This year, I thought it was a little bit of humidity because it rained earlier today, and there's some headwind for the half marathon, like when you're coming this way, south. So, yeah, I thought it was a little bit different, but, both these great atmospheres to run in.
And what do you got planned for the rest of the weekend? Are you going to be up here the whole time, or are you going to head back today?
I'm going to be up here till Monday, hanging out, checking out the beaches, and having fun.
Hopefully the weather cooperates for you the rest of the weekend, and you can kick up the feet and actually enjoy the weekend with some leisure without thinking about running 13.1 miles. Right. Would you come back next year then, you think?
I think so. Maybe I'll try the marathon or half marathon again. I don't know, but I definitely want to come back.
You got some time for while you're here. I didn't ask this of the half marathon champion when we did this event last year. It's the hottest selling ticket for this is the half. You have to get it within a few minutes, I believe. It's definitely a very fast. So when did you get on and get entered to make sure you were going to get that spot?
Oh, so last year I was entered in the elite athlete field, and I think right after the race I emailed the people who set up the race and tried to get my spot in, and they were able to help me out.
Okay, so you got maybe some insider help, but hey, whatever works, right? All right, well, Zach, thanks a lot for the few minutes. Congrats again, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Absolutely, you too.
So yeah, we got winners flooding in right now. Our 2 10K winners are through, and Zach, our half marathon champion. So now we're waiting and monitoring closely for that first female winner to cross for the half marathon. We're checking our clock at 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 9 seconds. That clock is ticking for those guys to continue this experience as we keep going live here from the Traverse City Central track, and the crowd's pretty good sized crowd today. That's the beauty of the stands here at Traverse City Central. They really care about their track program here, so they kind of line these stands up all the way down. It's about a 50-yard dash worth of a crowd. And then even looking behind the finish line, there's a bunch of fans parked up along the fence there you might be able to notice. So great setup for spectators. And I know a lot of fans prioritize spectating on the peninsula. I know they do a lot of road closures and maintenance to make sure it's very accessible for people to see their friends and family out there running the miles on the peninsula today. So obviously a very unique course. If you haven't heard it, right, runs alongside the East Bay side of the Old Mission Peninsula and just really gives you that scenic element to it that makes it worthwhile. It makes it want to be a big part of the event. Lindsay, our brand new executive director, correct?
Yes.
So, I just heard recently you're the new one in charge of the Traverse City Track Club.
That's right. I just started in November.
Well, hey, and this being your first Bayshore,
Sure
what
is.
is it like? I guess.
Oh my gosh.
You'd at least heard of it before if you hadn't been a part of it before.
Yes, I sure have. I've never run Bayshore though, and just thrilled to be here. It's been so fun. A lot to take in. Just trying to enjoy, much like a race, trying to enjoy it and do it well at the same time. And so far we've had amazing support from thousands of volunteers, an incredible race committee, a really great race directing team from Playmakers, great weather, knock on wood, and everyone has been safe and having a great time today. So that's really all we can ask for.
So as the architect of this event, when would you say is it the busiest this week? I mean, probably with everybody flooding in, but really to get the logistics, I mean, this is weeks, months in making. As you said, 6 months on the job, and you really start to feel how impactful this event could be with 7,000 runners here today.
For sure. I mean, not to be cliche, but it's been a marathon, not a sprint. Maybe the last 48 hours it felt more of a sprint, but tons of work. I mean, this almost does take a full year, to come together again. So we've had a lot of hard work and a lot of support throughout the year, but it's been a busy week. Really fun week too. We've had so many special guests. Deb Linden, she'll be here in a little bit to cheer on our marathon finishers, and
she's helping hand out the medals.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she's also been doing some podcasting with another fellow runner. You guys had an event at the
on Thursday, so that was a fun way to kick off the weekend. She joined us yesterday for the shakeout run to get runners excited and loose for the event. We added a new yoga event this year, which was really fun yesterday. And we're going to try out an awards ceremony this year. We haven't done that, I don't think ever, or at least in quite some time. And so, just trying to find new ways to continue to make this race even better and elevate all the amazing hard work of runners and the dedication that they put in to make a day like this really special.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said you haven't run this event specifically, but I'm assuming you love some big time races in your life to want to be the head of a program like this.
Yeah, I think we have our first female finisher, half marathon finisher coming
we're
through.
monitoring it right now. Yep,
Great.
She's keeping a pretty good pace. She's going to cross it. She's going to break 1 hour, 17 minutes.
Amazing.
For sure. Wow.
Her sister won the 10K.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Miss Floor, I'm blanking on her first name. Erica, I know is her sister. Catherine, yep.
Here we go.
So
They when they checked in yesterday, they said that was their goal. So that good for them.
mission accomplished. I was egging Erica on though. I was like, they need to race each other.
Yeah,
get that really floor
it's
versus.
right.
It's like the Harbaugh Bowl in the Super Bowl 10 years ago. We need to get that same element.
Yeah.
I'll catch
Amazing.
up with Catherine in a few
Great.
minutes here when she's done. But as a runner, obviously to have the job you have, you have a passion for running. But really, what goes into making this event one of these signature events, not just for us here in Northern Michigan, but I mean, really, there's a lot of buzz about this across the country. It's one of the great marathons thrown, especially early in the summer season.
For sure. It's early. It's a fast course. It's a stunning course. And again, we get lucky with some good weather, some good conditions. So last year, 21% of the field qualified for the Boston Marathon. That's huge. I mean, that's like pretty unprecedented. So we do attract a lot of really fast, competitive runners. Also people who just love the area, whether they're local or, from across the state, across the country. 5 countries represented today too. So that's fun.
Where's the farthest,
I don't want to misspeak. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
No worries.
But yeah, it takes so much energy. Again, the volunteer force, the time and energy planning. We couldn't do it, of course, without our EMS, public safety officials who really, make this day possible alongside the volunteers and staff. We need a lot of good partnership with our local government communities too. Obviously, where we're at now in Traverse City is crucial, and as well as Peninsula Township, where a lot of the race for the half and the full marathon take place. So many logistics, so many things that this is my first time really being part of a big race, and I'm newer to the running industry too. So I'm just learning tons as we go, and it is remarkable to see how much energy and work goes into this.
And you're already having your first event today. Are you already getting little ideas of, things you might try out for next year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're always trying to make everything, better, but also not reinvent the wheel. This is the 42nd year. People love this. This race sold out all 3 distances for a reason, so I think to the extent.
Yeah, you don't have a problem getting people to do it.
To the extent we can, continue to bring the magic as amazing as it's been, we'll continue that, of course. And always, I think a little too soon to say some good positive improvements, opportunity for growth in the future, but I think we'll continue to see that and strive for that for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for joining us for a few
happy
minutes.
to be here.
Congrats
Thank
on
you.
Another successful year for this event and your first year
Thanks.
in charge. And excited to see our full marathon runners cross in just a
I'm
few
getting
minutes
excited
here.
too.
And, just really creates a buzz to the summer when this is like the unofficial kickoff for us here on Memorial Day weekend to make this a signature event. So thank you again for all your hard work. And making
Thank
this happen.
you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, do me a favor, grab Lisa while you're over there, will you? So yes, we are keeping pace with everything Bayshore here. Great to catch up with the brand new leader of the Traverse City Track Club. Did you give her any advice when she took over the job?
No, just handed her the keys and off she went. No, it's been great to work with her, and I think she's doing a great job. It's a really fun job. I always remind her, remember that it's a running club, and everything that we're doing is fun and awesome and happy, and keep things into perspective. What we're doing is a great thing to provide opportunities for people to go out and be active, and just keep that in mind, and everything's good. So the other thing we talk a lot about is just how important relationships are. And she's really good at interacting with all the different people that make this possible.
That is
and
the key point of that job.
yeah, and one of the things that she is just talking about is just how many people who have been here for so many years have helped make this thing happen. And from the township to the city to the county to the police force to the emergency people to the volunteers that are out there on their bicycles leading the racers. It's just so many people love being a part of this event that they want to come back and help.
It is, you can't reiterate enough how great of a, and I think you could pull it off on a Labor Day weekend if you wanted, but there's something really unique about it being Memorial Day weekend and the start of the weekend that allows people to come up here. And so, we talked to the runners last year and today that they are, we talked to Zach, a half marathon champion. He's from Detroit. He's planning to stay here the weekend. So it's really an incentive for people to come from out of town to check out Traverse City again, whether they've seen it before or not, and be a part of why we live here. So.
Yeah, and I didn't hear what you and Lindsay were talking about, but the economic impact that this event creates for our community is huge. The most recent study we did showed that this event, the people who come here, which is about 80% of our entrants are from out of the area that maybe have more than an hour and a half drive. They stay overnight and they eat at the restaurants. They stay at the hotels. They go to the grocery stores. They use this community to help them prepare for this event and to have a great weekend with their families. It brings about $7 million back into the economy.
And you notice it if you go around Traverse City.
Right.
A day like yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Waits are, and yes, that's just Memorial Day travel in general, but a big influx of that year in, year out if you're in the Traverse City area is competitors for the Bayshore Marathon. That's usually, if you start talking with people, that's why they're here, and we're happy to have them because, that's a big influx for our economy, but great way to show off what we, maybe say, I know I did growing up, took for granted a little bit, is just how great it is up here, just with the scenery and just the real checkout vibe from big city life in a sense. Like I said, our half marathon champion was from Detroit, so to get out of the big city for a couple of days and come up here,
I heard just yesterday I heard the New York Times did a piece on 10 places to travel to and what to do in 36 hours, and Traverse City made the list.
That's the list. So if we don't have enough tourists already, maybe we'll get a few more.
Yep.
So I'm kind of looking, Catherine LaFleur, Erica LaFleur won the 10K. Catherine, her sister, won the half marathon, just under an hour 17. Still keeping an eye out for her.
Yeah.
But that is hopefully the goal. We can talk with her, and then we might take a short break. Lisa and I might take a short break. We'll keep that camera going on the finish line for you as we await our full marathon winners, which should be about 45, 50 minutes on the men's side. Probably. I'm doing my math. Do they switch one of those clocks over? Do you know?
No. I think they'll keep that 10K going for probably the end. The sign on the front is a big improvement this year. It says 10K.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that was new this year. I'm still not seeing it very well. I guess I needed my glasses today, but.
Well, I can go see if I can find Catherine, and we can come back.
Okay. You can hunt down Catherine. It's been nice. A lot of them have been situated right over here. But, if you want to go on a little scavenger hunt.
I
will. So we're still here at the Bayshore Marathon recapping. I'm going to check the real time here on my phone. 8:55. So just under 9 a.m. this morning. And these runners have been up probably a lot longer than just a couple hours to be a part of this event today, and really take in the beauty of the Bayshore and Old Mission Peninsula. And This is a unique setup here right by the finish line. We've got music, we've got announcers. It kind of has that concert feel, you could say. You're taking in the end of the Bayshore Marathon. We still got plenty of 10Kers crossing the finish line, so keep an eye out. If you haven't seen somebody that you wanted to monitor at the finish line, you unfortunately couldn't be here today. We got a lot of the half marathoners crossing the finish line right now. Again, those are in the red bibs, green bibs. Green numbers are the 10K finishers today. So still a busy atmosphere as we're keeping an eye on everything for you here at the 42nd Bayshore Marathon. 1983, this event started up, and it's still going strong here in 2024.
Kyle Simmer, Garrett Georges. Awesome job, runners.
We do want to hopefully talk with our half marathon champion before we're going to take that short break. Catherine LaFleur, if you just joined us, was the half marathon champion, and her sister Erica. It's incredible stuff that two twin sisters can win 2 races here at this event. But that's how dedicated. I think I overheard Erica say they're going to Spain to be doing some trail running and adventuring in a couple months here. So nice to know that two sisters who are passionate about running can make that priority for some of their summer travels. And yeah, running in Spain, that's got to be some pretty cool scenery out there as well overseas, some of those countries. And we know there's some big time events. We know Paris is hosting the Summer Olympics. That will be on our stations Up North Live, NBC 7 and 4 later this summer. So we know running is obviously a huge part of that, and marathon racing will be a big part of the Olympic events this summer. And that's only 2 months away. It's hard to believe. We know that 2021 Olympics were a year later because of COVID. So it's only been 3 years since our last Summer Olympics. So we know that's coming up pretty shortly here as far as the journey to the next Summer Games in Paris. But we are here in Traverse City for the 42nd Bayshore Marathon. Runners keep crossing. We're keeping an eye on things. Lisa Taylor, nice enough to join me again this year after we gave you a lot of recap here last year, and keeping an eye on things at this finish line, making sure everybody keeps an eye on those who they want to see cross the finish line, because we know 7,400 runners taking part in all 3 races. And I throw around the number that there's probably for every one runner in each race, there's probably 1 or 2 spectators, maybe even 3. Some runners have whole giant families supporting them. So whether it's around the course or here at the finish line, these guys are getting a lot of support. And if you come down here, you see all the cars parked well beyond the high school track. You know how popular of an event this is, not only to run, but to be here to see others run. And that's the setup we have. We'll take one more glance, see if we've got. I don't see Lisa or Catherine coming back, so I think what we're going to do is take a short break on our camera here, but we will keep that other camera going, monitoring the finish line, and we'll jump back up here in a few minutes and get a check on things here and give you a full report on our marathon champions. And Zach Ripley is a 2-time marathon champion for the men's race. He set a course record a year ago. I talked to Zach earlier this week. I know a three-peat was his focus to come back here and do this race again. So we'll see, get an update, see if Zach is leading the pace or if we're going to have a new men's champion and check in on the women's race as well. So more to come here from the Bayshore Marathon. As I said, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a camera on that finish line. Harrison Beebe, sports director at Up North Live. I'm going to step away for a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Hang with us.
Brian Cruz coming through. 1:30 for the half marathon.
I am not all over your film, right? I'm not like in your way. Oh, thank God. Like, I keep going in front. I'm like, oh no, right?
Thank you. Great job. Congratulations. Made it to your finish line. Looking so strong. And sprint to the finish. David Brown. Lovely job, Bayshore. Coming through. Odette. Welcome to your finish line. Water straight ahead. Keep following the track towards the finish area. Just around the bend. Just around the bend. Tina Morgan. Great job, Water straight ahead. Congratulations, brother Brian Carter. Awesome job, runner. David Murphy. From Evanston, Illinois. Dave Murphy. Okay, we've got a filter here. This must be our one hole. Come on, let's go! We're under 140! Let's go! You got this! You got it! Go! You're so close! Great job! Great job! You keep following the track towards the finish area. Good job, runners. Congratulations, runners. Welcome to your finish line. Water straight ahead. So happy to have you here. The track towards the finish line. Finish area, rather. Team Spin. That means why can't we all just walk? Congratulations, runners. Great job, Water straight ahead. Keep following the track towards the finish area. And there's the way. Great job, Water. Congratulations. Yes, that should keep We want to give a shout out to our top three non-binary finishers: Madeline Fabry, Alex Spencer, and Ava Billy. Congratulations for the 10K. finish area. Great job. Molly, everybody. Welcome to your finish line. Keep following the track towards the finish area. Great job, great job. Welcome to the finish line. Great job, great job. Get water straight ahead to the bottom of the track towards the finish. Right by that tree line. Good job, runners. Coming through the finish line.
I think that was my best.
And that'll be when you're ready.
I tried so hard to catch up to you, and I finally did. I was like, ah.
Let's go. Oh, let's go. Yeah, no, hey, you did it. Good stuff. There's water straight ahead. Keep following the track towards the finish. Great job, man. Great job. Directing to the finish. Great job, everybody. Water straight ahead. Water straight ahead. You got this. Water straight ahead. You're going to follow the track all the way to that tree line for the finish area. Thank you. You've got it today. Woo-woo. Yeah, if you're awesome job. Crystal and Amy. Nice winner. Yeah, for finishing strong.
You were 74. Yeah, you just called to come down and tell you. You have over the years with the months there's parents that brought your daughter to cheer on the boyfriend.
Water straight ahead. You keep following the track.
Yeah, she has no idea. So it's going to be done around like 10 to 15.
Water straight ahead. You keep following the track towards the finish area. Great
I can have that person be
you keep following the track towards the finish area. Just around this bend. Great job. Water straight ahead. You keep following the track towards the finish area. Well, now you're on this side.
Men at the monkey.
All right, Connor. Come on down, coach.
I believe it. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, one more time. Good job. Good job. Enjoy your day. See you, Mickey. Yeah. See you, buddy. I'm waiting on Janine. I'll be here for a minute. Yeah.
Right here, you're going to get a photo with Trevor for the finishing area. Great job. Keep following the track from the finish area. Oh my God! Wow, I'm so concerned. Oh my gosh, good for you. Wow. Well, I heard the weather was a little weird. Congratulations,
Hey everybody, welcome back to the finish line of the Bayshore Marathon here at Traverse City Central's track. You've been here the whole time with our other camera, but Lisa Taylor and myself, Harrison Beebe, we are back here recapping the activity from another busy day. And Lisa, you were logging almost as many miles as the runners trying to catch Catherine LaFleur, our half marathon women's here.
Yeah, we missed
it
her.
It appears she got away from us. She evaded that difficult post-race interview that
She
some
did.
runners.
We had some hard questions for her.
I did.
Like, why did the person who just won the 10K look just like you?
Right. This is a conspiracy of epic proportions. But no, Lisa, you pointed out that they both won those races a year ago. So these two twin sisters, the LaFleur sisters, Catherine and Erica, repeated in the 10K.
Fleur. Yeah, Fleur.
Okay.
Yeah, they're they summer in the Leland area, and it's been a big part of their life growing up, coming to northern Michigan. And I believe they both ran on scholarship at Princeton.
Okay.
And then maybe finished out their college career at the University of Michigan. So they're big college runners. And Erica told us about their summer plans.
Going to Spain.
Trail running in Spain.
That's pretty cool.
So they're kicking off a great summer with a win at Bayshore.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll be back. We know Zach Ripley. We're monitoring his potential for a three-peat here in the men's race to see if he can maybe the Floor sisters want to do that next year. Like I said, I still want to see them race each other.
Yes, I do too. Head to
That
head.
would be if we just had them like coming down in a giant, half marathon. It came down to the last 50 meters, and they're having a sprint off here.
That'd
but
be fun.
That's
Yeah,
wishful thinking on my part.
Erica said they share the love, right? Taking turns
Since
in
being
different
born,
events,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's almost
Well,
as if they knew.
So we've got the clock running here in the 10K at about 2 hours coming up here. For some of these people, that is bucket list kind of thing to be able to finish a 10K.
Yep.
And so
A lot of people, it's the very first one. A lot of people, they're probably trying to, for a second, third, fourth try. And that's, like we mentioned earlier, that's the beauty of the variety of races they have here today. But yeah, we've now reached that point. We have way more red bibs than green bibs.
Yes.
So a lot of those half marathons are going on. We know, if we do our math right, just about 10 minutes or so away from our first gold bibs. We'll have to see what color the numbers are for the full marathoners.
So it's not green, it's not red.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess blue.
It's blue. Okay. I don't know if they wanted to give them the gold touch for the longest distance, but blue's a good color too. We'll allow blue.
So yeah, we are seeing mostly half marathon finishers at this time, and you got people holding hands, husband and wife maybe.
I like the people that are out here videotaping themselves on their phones finishing.
Yeah,
that's a new wave of technology that whether they're putting it on social media or just taking a video to send everybody at home that I did it. That's something we never thought 10, 15 years ago would be a common thing, is people just videotaping themselves at the finish line. But that is very much a part of the events here in 2024. And we've had a good morning here so far. We've been up and going since about 8 a.m. Got to catch up with Lindsay McLaughlin, the new head of the Traverse City Track Club, a job you had for several years here, which makes you such a vital part of this event and a vital part for us to have you here with us to talk today. But tell us about a day in the life of Lindsay's job and really putting this event together.
Well, one of the things that's unique about her job is she's one of only 2 staff people for the whole organization, managing a budget of close to $1 million that exists of many programs, 5 events, a scholarship program, a grants program, and a membership program. We have a very vital membership that has activities going on a weekly basis. So it's a full-time job, and to have one executive director. And the exciting thing I think for her this year is the board of directors approved the hiring of a new staff person to oversee all the operations of the organization, which means primarily the events. The track club has the Loop the Lake coming up in July. It has the events in the fall include the Farmland 5K, and then there's the Jingle Bell Run in December, and then there's the kicking off the new year 2025.
We're getting an update here from our sideline reporter, Zach Ripley, 3 miles out. He's in the lead. Mr. Zach Ripley of Rockford, Michigan, going for a three-peat. And in 3 miles, we'll find out for sure.
Yeah, so in about 15 minutes, we'll be talking about that. Another friend of yours became the new staff person. Jason Whitaker has a full-time position with the organization now, and he'll be overseeing all of the races. And I left off with Frozen Foot in January, so that makes up the lineup of Traverse City Track Club events. A lot of people don't know that Bayshore Marathon is put on by the Traverse City Track Club. And so we can just tell them over and over and over again that the Bayshore Marathon is the Traverse City Track Club.
And that's not to knock those other races that you just mentioned, but obviously Bayshore is a bit bigger of a arena and total runners.
Right, yeah.
So it kind of seems like the outlier in a big way compared to those other events. But yes, all of these are under the Traverse City Track Club umbrella. I mean, but you guys do, is it weekly get-togethers, or in the summer it's weekly get-togethers? So.
In summer, you can go to a Wednesday night fun run all year round. Mm-hmm. There's 52 fun runs a year.
Which is a great way to just, even before you do a 5K, just to lace up some shoes and get out there and give it a try.
Or if you're new to the community and you're looking for your friend group, the social part of fun runs is a lot of fun for people. Most of the fun runs meet at a local eating establishment that may have, a brewery attached to it. So it's a fun night out for a lot of people. Coming up soon is the Summer Series, and the Summer Series is the original track club event. Up until Bayshore was done opened up in 1983. Prior to that, starting in 1962, the club started its program called Summer Series, and Summer Series is a weekly semi-competitive but highly organized racing series where you accumulate points based on participation and your finish position. And so Summer Series is a 10-week program that allows people to test themselves every week, see how their fitness is coming along, but also has that social aspect to it as well.
Kind of has a Tour de France feel where you're kind of slowly getting those, the statistics to add up to be able to
exactly
be the
you
one wearing
gain
the
points
yellow
each
jacket.
week with different events that everything ranging from a 1 mile alternating relay to a 10K on the trails to a 5K on the track. It's really a fun.
So a lot of different options, and
Right.
that's all through the Traverse City Track Club, which is a big reason why this event runs as smooth as it does, because
it's the reason.
people like you and Lindsay and all the volunteers that we keeping praise on, because you estimated 1,000. Lindsay said well over 1,000. I believe it based on just the people who are handing out water. People were doing the packet pickups. I mean, it doesn't take 5 people to just set up this fencing and this finish line. Like, you need a big group of people to be a part of this every year, and that's once again on display. And unfortunately, those people don't get as much recognition as they probably should for being the real heartbeat of what makes this event
the face of the event,
epic as it is, and as important as it is. So, but plenty of crowds. The stands are full now. It was kind of at 8 a.m. They weren't quite packed, but for good reason. Runners weren't ready to cross the finish line yet, but we got a full set of stands now. People are lined up behind us, checking out their loved ones crossing the finish line. As you are at home with our other camera here on our Up North live stream on all our digital platforms. Back here for a second year. We were here last year for our inaugural stream of the Bayshore Marathon. I know Up North Live has been a part of the Cherry Festival parades. The last few years we've done the Cherry T-ball drop on New Year's Eve, and this is now becoming one of our signature events.
That's awesome.
I'll be a part of this on the Saturday morning of every Memorial Day weekend. The Bayshore Marathon, the 42nd year for the Bayshore, started in 1983. And my, oh my, it's come along. Lisa and I were talking earlier how everything was just done by pen and pencil back in the day. And
all by hand.
And, a lot different now when a little microchip on your bib can scan all of your information. So
it's amazing.
Technology has transformed how every sport and how really a lot of society is done, and obviously the running rules, and that's really convenient too. Just be able to throw on your bib. I know a lot of runners will just scrunch them up, so it makes sure it goes with the mesh.
Oh, you can't do that anymore.
Okay, so never mind.
Yeah, there's a little Band-Aid sized chip attached to every bib.
So makes sense why you wouldn't be able to do that, because technology wise, that's probably a little expensive, and you don't want to damage that probably. Yeah. Back when I was running, you used to just kind of fit it wherever you could. I think you pointed out that somebody had their bib on their rear end as they were crossing the finish line. So, that might have affected that person's time, but, oh, well, I guess they made that choice.
They'll figure it out. Our timing company is amazing. I thought earlier while you were talking, looking at the people in the stands, all of these people are family members or friends that have watched their athlete prepare for this event for months, and they are so excited to see their person come in, and it's just a really special thing.
And as a runner, that means the world to know that you have a support system that's here, and obviously they do appreciate anybody who's watching at home as well. If you let them know, hey, we saw you on the Up North Live Facebook stream, that's going to mean a lot to those guys too, knowing they put in all that time and that you're showing that support for them, investing in this. It's a commitment. It's really what running a race like this means. Goes a long way towards, a lot of people will say a big race is a signature moment of their year.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yes.
When you go back on what you accomplished in a given calendar year, like, well, I remember when I ran that half marathon at the Bayshore, and
we're so happy to have you back.
Well, we should be seeing the male winner at any moment now.
If it's Mr. Zach Ripley. I'm not biased, but I did talk to him this week, and I wouldn't mind talking to him one more time. Mr. Zach Ripley.
Here for Becky.
So we're doing our math. 217 is our. Okay, I think they switched this one over now.
This one on the right. Okay, we got 2:17:16 on the marathon clock. This is a very, very awesome time. However, if Zach Ripley repeats this year,
Three-peat.
three-peats, he will be a little bit slower than last year.
But
But
his record time was right around a minute before this of 2:16:35.
and he either has had another solo run. His only competitor is that little voice in his brain telling him slow down, and I have not heard if he's had any competition, but it sounds like maybe if he was leading at 3 miles out, who knows? Maybe there could have been another runner coming up on him. We'll see.
We'll find out. Yep, Zach, I know as part of winning this event last year, he qualified, or he got to go to a U.S. Olympic qualifier.
Right.
He did in February. He said that race, unfortunately, didn't go as well for him. But that was a unique opportunity that this race offered to runners last year, and Zach was able to take part in it. So, maybe down the line for the 2028 games, we can get something like that set up again for Bayshore.
I'm sure they will. It's called a sanction, and it's by the USATF. And in order to run in the trials, you have to have run in a marathon that was sanctioned.
Right.
And so
that's it. Yeah, it's a very big deal. And we referenced earlier, this can qualify you for the Boston Marathon, which we know is the signature event for a lot of people to do.
Boston Marathon,
I know
the
you've
oldest.
been out to it, see that, and be a part of that once or twice, including this year.
The Boston Marathon is the oldest running event in the country. And I see our winner coming in, Zach Ripley.
He's
flying. Wearing a
yellow bib. I was close with the goalpost here. So 2:19. Yeah, he's got a pretty crisp race, this Zach. 2:19:23 for Mr. Zach Ripley, a three-peat. It's in the books.
All right.
That's
we will have Zach over here
I would
in
love
just a
to know.
minute.
Oh yeah, I told him he better prioritize coming to talk to us. So, I don't know the history books offhand if we've ever had a three-peat winner for any of the races here, but
let's have Dave Taylor talk.
Hi, Dave.
That was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Three-peat. Do you know the history of it? Has anybody ever three-peat in this event?
No one has three-peated. I think we've had a couple two-timers, but I don't know those names.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he, as far as any race, even 10K, full or half.
I believe so. I think that's the first time ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that in itself is history in the making right
Exactly.
there, just now. Zach may have not gotten that record time again, but...
And it was still a really good time. That's right around, this isn't an Olympic qualifying year, but that was still, if it was, that was right around the same qualifying time. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, he looked pretty comfortable crossing that finish line, too, so that's always a good time for him.
And I think he has a pretty big lead. I haven't heard of the second. I think the second place is still a ways out.
We're kind of keeping an eye. Dave Taylor, I want to give you some recognition. We were just talking about the Boston Marathon that you ran.
Yep, just a little over a month ago.
Mm-hmm. And you got to run it with your daughter, which was pretty
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, that was very cool.
So, but how did for a lot of people, make it closer to home. Boston Marathon is kind of the face of marathon running in the United States. But what does this mean as the face of being at this event for Northern Michigan?
It is. Certainly Northern Michigan's premier marathon. Michigan has, Detroit Free Press Marathon is probably Michigan's biggest marathon. Grand Rapids has a great marathon, but I think all these people from 20 different states that are here come and love our small town and love our hospitality, and really the number of really fast runners that have come in the recent years has really shown that this is a top scale marathon and respected across the country.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Zach said. He'd heard so much about it, he had to be a part of it. And that's kind of when I asked him too. I'm like, well, when you're doing these other events, what's your interpretation of us? What's the reputation for Bayshore here in Northern Michigan? He's like, a lot of races claim to be scenic and beautiful, and he wasn't knocking the other races. He was saying they might be over exemplifying the beauty of their courses compared to what we have here in northern Michigan that sets us up right along East Bay there every morning. So
I was with, so we have Lindsay Hine is our starting line, finish line announcer, who's a national level speaker and has a nationally followed podcast. And so I was driving her through the course the other day, and she was like, whoa, this really is beautiful. This is along the water the entire way. I don't know if I should be looking at the water or the houses.
Right.
So
I don't know if that's like is a benefit for the runners to just relax, or is it kind of maybe it takes them out of what they're doing, at least the competitive ones.
It's just nice to have, you're not running. I was watching some video of some marathon over the last month or something, and there's parked cars along the route, and it's just buildings. And, it's one thing if you're in Boston and New York or the big cities that really bring in the crowds, but to have the scenic beauty and, this terrific crew that puts on this race, that I like to think does all the little things right. I'm sure there's some little problem going on out there, but in the big picture, a lot of things are done right. And that's the other reason that people come to Bayshore, is that they know that it's going to be measured correctly. It's good hands and good food at the finish. And
ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
How many races give you ice cream at the finish? Who's allowed to eat ice cream before 10 a.m.?
Right.
You are if you run the Bayshore Marathon. Yeah. We were talking about the volunteers. Lindsay McLaughlin, the executive director of the Traverse City Track Club, estimated well over 1,000 people here to help, which is awesome. 7,400 runners. I did the math for all 3 races today, and I just off the top of my head, I estimate at least 2 or 3 people, probably average per runner, just here to spectate and watch and support.
I think that's very fair.
So you're talking 10, 20, 30,000 people. If they're not at the base of the peninsula, they're scattered throughout. You know it by the cars and how tough it is to find a parking spot here.
And I want to give a shout out to, what everybody doesn't see here is all the houses out on the peninsula who are having parties. And out in their front yard, they're having breakfast parties and beer parties and great music. And, that support is just so meaningful for the runners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that encourages them in all the water stations that are out there and snack stations. I mean, that's, you know from experience, you were in the middle of a lengthy 26-mile race. You need to pick me up somewhere, and sometimes that's where that comes in handy the most. So.
Exactly.
Well, Dave, how many times have you run this race? Obviously,
so I've run this race 4 times. I ran it last year. Mm-hmm. It's nice. Part of me wants to be out there today, and another part, it's kind of fun standing here at the finish line cheering people in.
Mm-hmm. But either way, you're involved with this event every year.
I've been involved in some shape or form for at least 20 years, maybe more. I don't know. I've lost count.
So how is it going? I asked Lisa earlier for her. What was your perspective of seeing this event grow from the first few years you started getting involved with it?
Oh, it's just grown so much, and particularly community support. I remember one year, it was like the morning of the race, and I was driving around town begging McDonald's and Burger King and everybody else, we need more cups, please, we need more cups. And, and begging aid stations to come out. And, it was just a lot of work to make it happen. And now sponsors come to us and volunteer groups come to us, and the crowd support. In the early years there weren't people out having parties in their front yard, and all that happens surrounding this event.
It's like our Daytona 500 up here.
And what we don't see from this camera is just beyond these trees, there's a big party going on out there. There's all the runners laying out and their family and friends supporting them, as well as probably all around the grounds of NMC. And that didn't really happen years ago.
Well, I'm assuming it's not a coincidence that this is Memorial Day week, the Saturday Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. They do that. It's the first big holiday 3-day weekend of the summer, and they want to kick it off right. They know tourism's already a big thing up here, so they want to add to it by bringing even more runners to be a part of this event, bring their families up here, and check out what Northern Michigan has to offer.
Yeah, it's fairly rare for marathons to be held on a Saturday. Most are on a Sunday. But ours is the ideal layout where they can arrive Thursday or Friday, and then just stay for the weekend and have the whole weekend. So a lot of times when you're a runner like myself, Saturdays a little bit is just the day before is always a down day, And so to be done with it by, 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and now you can really enjoy our area and get out there and have fun.
Yeah, it really makes the unwind process of a marathon really luxurious.
Exactly.
Well, we are
I think we have a
you're
winner
almost off
walking
the
over.
hook. Although you've been a great interview, we should really pull you aside more than Lisa more often.
I don't know about I know you've got that second-rate interviewer over there.
So we're about to catch up with the three-peat champion himself, Mr. Jack Ripley, Dave Taylor.
Thank you.
I'll hand off the baton here. Thanks so much for your help.
All right.
We'll
We
let
got Zach.
get situated as he's putting on his medal and welcome in what we believe to be the first-time three-peat champion of any variety.
Harrison,
My man,
how's it going?
good to see you again, sir. How's your morning going so far?
I mean, started a little earlier than you like, but the sun's out now, so it's going to be a great day.
To what they estimate, not exactly, we don't have the books to prove it, but it's believed that you're the first-time three-peat winner for any race at Bayshore. And that's 42 years, going back to the early 80s. So, again, we don't want to hammer that home, but it's believed by just offhand the people who have the memories, and there's a lot of people here that go way back with this race.
Yeah.
So to know that that's a title that you can add to your resume and how popular this marathon has become and how important it now is to you, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor. These things, you never take anything for granted in running because anything can happen. So every day that I can get out there and I can be healthy and run and enjoy it, that's a great day. And then when you add on top of it the opportunity to race, which is just that much better, and then to feel good and race well and possibly win a race, and then to do that if you want. I mean, it's just, so you got to think about it like this. If every moment is a blessing, then the mountain of moments is unfathomable. It's an incredible thing.
Did that weather suit you a little better today? It felt a little cooler, for me at least, than it did last year. The sun's out now, but it's been cloudy for a majority of the morning for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad for it. No, it was cool, but it was humid. So if the temperature started rising, it would have been pretty difficult. But since the sun stayed out, it was cloudy the whole time. It was good. Good for racing.
So a lot of the guys probably at the race today knew who you were and knew what you were capable of. What was the race like this year? Did you have any contenders, or when did you feel like you started to pull away and had the race in line?
Yeah, no, Luke Hickman. I don't know what place he ended up in. It looked like he was second here, but he was leading the race for 16 miles or so. I had to reel him in. He was quite a ways ahead. But
so what was that, if you don't mind me interrupting mid-answer, what was that like knowing, he was really gunning for you then?
Yeah, I like it. I like to chase. I'm more comfortable staying back in the first half. I don't run even races with marathons. When I've done that in the past, it's actually blown up and gone terribly. So I start off as easy as I can. I try not to let them get too far ahead, but with a course like this, winding around, you lose sight of them pretty easily. And so after about 8 miles, I was looking ahead and I'm thinking, maybe he's farther ahead than I'm comfortable with. But you just have to be patient. A marathon, you never win a marathon in the first half. So got to wait and be patient. And sure enough, after halfway, I could tell that I was gaining some ground and eventually caught up to him.
So what mile did you take the lead?
I think it was around 16.
Okay. Oh, you did say that. All right. So you had the final 10 miles. Close out. Was he hanging with you for a while, or did you kind of, at that point, you kind of had him and as they say in running, break him?
Well, so he was hanging for a bit, but shortly after I passed him, I picked it up again, and so that was kind of the timing. I was looking for after the halfway to try to dial it in, and then right around 18 to see if I could really turn it up, and so that's about when that happened. And I don't know exactly what he was doing at that point, but he stayed close, at least for a while.
Well, it's not the course record. I don't know what guy set the course record. It was this guy, by the way. But hey, you know what? You ran pretty well, and you looked very comfortable crossing that finish line. So the important thing, you got another championship to your name, and you're helping add to the legacy of this event, which I think in the long run will, really get. It's already a big deal, but accomplishments like what you've been doing the last few years will really go a long way towards solidifying how special this event can be for elite runners such as yourself. So can we pencil you in for next year already, or are we gonna still wait and see?
Harrison, man, the pressure's on. Actually, I don't know. I was saying it earlier. Every day is a blessing. I'm always just, I thank God that I can run and that I can do it again. And if we're here, our family likes to vacation up here. We've talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
And then we plan to next year again in the same place. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'll run the full marathon or something different, or if I'm healthy or otherwise, but if I can, I will.
Yeah, maybe you should get into the other 2 races and become the first ever one to win all 3 races.
I have won all 3 races.
Here?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said you'd only done the half before.
No, I've done the 10K.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. You've already done that.
It was a long time ago.
All right. So I'll research that, and then we'll double check it. Maybe we'll add a race to get you get you an Ironman to race out here.
Hey, listen, Bayshore, Traverse City. The Bay. This is beautiful up here. It's awesome. It's it's God's country, and we enjoy it. And as much as the event just attracts such a great positive experience for so many people, we love being a part of it.
And you told me earlier this week that you guys are having themed meals all week. What's the themed meal tonight?
I'm not actually sure. We did a big birthday thing yesterday. My brother-in-law, who's here somewhere, his birthday was a few days ago, or a couple weeks ago rather. My sister-in-law's birthday was a few days ago. So we did a birthday bash for him yesterday.
Awesome. Well, if you didn't have too much cake.
I don't know what tonight is. No,
maybe they'll let you pick.
Hopefully not. I'm not great at making choices. If it's food, I like it.
Well, one thing I didn't ask you the other day when we were chatting, what is your favorite post-race snack when you have that whole selection of items? What do you go for first?
So they have the moomers here, right?
Yep.
Which is just a rare, the treat, that's awesome. But really for me, as soon as I get halfway through any race, any distance, I start thinking about chocolate milk. I love it. And I'm craving it.
A little kid in you just wants that chocolate milk again?
Oh, yeah. Every time.
Zach Ripley, your 2022, 2023, and 2024 men's marathon champion. Three-peat. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks, Harrison.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, will you?
Will do.
All right. We'll bring Elisa back. Always such a pleasure to talk to Zach. He was gracious enough to do an interview with us earlier this week via digital platform. He lives down in Rockford, so he was kind of busy, but he gave me 20 minutes of an interview earlier this week and really opened eyes. It's great to pick a runner's brain and find out what makes them as good as they are, and thankfully I have a little bit of a running background, so I can, kind of get into their training regimen, their nutrition,
right,
and just really what makes them motivated to go. I even asked them about cramping of all things, because we've all been in those races where they get you and they're like, oh, how do I fight this off? But Zach, a three-peat. Dave, your husband, estimates this is the first three-peat winner ever
I believe
in the history of the Bayshore.
Yeah.
So that's rarefied air. He is one of one now for that department. And that's where Zach is. So big congrats to him, finishing just under 220, I believe, was his time. That clock's at 220 now, but
right, yeah,
I believe. So now we're waiting
for a long time. Yeah, and Zach,
close to our female top finisher for the marathon.
And I hear it's Emma Cortez.
Emma Cortez. Okay.
She was
be a new
featured
champion.
as one of our
Hannah
elite.
Becker won a year ago, so she'll be a new champion for the women.
Correct. Talking to Zach the way you were, did you guys talk at all about super shoes?
We did not.
Yeah. So
Is that what
Zach,
he's wearing?
right? Yeah, Zach and a lot of the marathon runners, half marathon runners, 10Ks in the elite world are over the past 5 years have been wearing a new shoe technology that actually has a carbon plate designed into the shoe that propels the runner forward. And some people think that those super shoes are responsible for as much as 3 minutes off your time, but also the super shoe technology allows even the average runner to recover more quickly from the intensity.
Muscle-wise.
Right. Yeah, the recovery has been improved with the super shoes. So that's another new thing about racing.
And they're all
in
legal.
The world of running.
It's a
Correct.
legal.
Right. It's all legal. Anyone can buy them too.
How expensive are they? Maybe that's the question.
Oh, $250 and above.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are
The higher
as high
price
as,
model.
I think one of them is as high as $500. And the really bummer thing about super shoes is you can wear them kind of once and you're done.
Really?
So it's like a piece of equipment that maybe you can buy your way onto the podium with, right?
Or get a sponsor to help you. Yeah. All right, so super shoes. Maybe not for everybody, but if they're working for Zach,
Yeah.
hey, they can work for you if you can afford them. Yeah, it's
So we should have our female any second now. I think I might have just seen her come around onto the track for the last
let's take a look
200 meters. Yes, we have our winner, Emma Cortez.
right here in the yellow.
She is coming. She's wearing bib number 2. And she is flying. She is at 2:37. 36 is her time. And she looks excited. We will have her over here in just a moment.
Well, can we guarantee?
I'm going to go get her.
All right, sounds good. Emma Cortez, our final champion of the 3 races here today on the men's and women's side, so 6 total winners. Emma Cortez crossing that finish line there, and the music is blaring, the crowds are popping. And the sun is out. I think that's the best part. The sun is now in my eyes, which I didn't plan out appropriately enough for this camera. But hey, in broadcasting, we're used to difficult conditions like that. At least it's not raining. At least it's not snowing. So we have our first female marathon finisher. Plenty of red bibs still crossing. Still notice some yellow bibs crossing as well as we get all of them in. She's coming? All right. We're going to rope in Emma to talk to us and really pick her brain about winning a Bayshore Marathon. I mean, this is the reason we're here today. The reason you're watching is because this is an event that is as popular as it is because of the reputation it has been going on for several decades. And there are thousands of people here either running or wanting to see people they support run and be a part of this event. And that's what goes into making this event as popular as it is. It's really the word. I was talking to Zach earlier this week. The word has spread, throughout the country. People are aware of what the Bayshore Marathon is, even if it's not necessarily something people go out of their way to go to. It's something that they know about, and I think the idea that you run right alongside East Bay on Old Mission Peninsula here in Traverse City, it gives you an aura, it gives you an atmosphere like very few other marathons across the world. I'm going to go ahead and estimate can replicate, and that's what brings people like Zach back here. And we'll have to ask Emma what really motivated her to want to take part in an event like this. And yeah, the real challenge for the marathoners, though, you're starting right here, basically. The start line was right behind us where the camera is. You see the finish line behind us. They started at 7:15 right across the way here, went all the way out 13 miles on the Old Mission Peninsula, all the way back. Obviously, the different marathons are looped different ways, but when you trace your steps back and forth, you know the course well, you check everything out, you have those opportunities, but I don't think anybody's complaining about the views of running alongside the water. I was even telling Dave, sometimes it's a little bit of a distraction, especially if you're in a competitive atmosphere, if you want to get a certain time. Just kind of get lost in the scenery of the things out
All
there.
right, yeah. Well,
obviously, it's a benefit to enjoy what you're looking at. But
I think probably the worst is if it's a really hot day and you're really hot and you look over to your side, either you're right on the way out or the left on the way in, and you see this Caribbean blue water. You see all the, and you can see the bottom of the water. It's so clean. You want to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bayshore.
Well, hopefully the runners eventually get it. It's not quite as piping hot today. I think it feels like mid-60s right now with the sun out.
Right,
maybe
yeah.
close to 70. But
Yeah,
runners have enjoyed the conditions today. They said the cloudy weather and the cool temps.
I would think so, yeah.
It's really the inside of your body, really, just to not get overheated and to really stay
like I
comfortable.
said, the heat is the worst thing that you can have. I mean, even worse than humidity is bad, but heat and humidity is just a recipe for a disaster. We have a medical tent behind us, and every time I walk by the medical tent, it's empty, which is so awesome because you don't want to have people in the medical tent.
Well, and I think that's another reason why this event's always plopped right on Memorial Day weekend here is because that is an ideal temperature range.
Right.
It makes it a little tough for you to train in the winter to get ready, but I think you prefer that over starting training in April, May, and then getting something in July or August.
Yeah, that's a good point.
80, 90 degrees. They want you to be comfortable running the most important race, presumably of your life, but definitely of that moment in time.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a really good point. I think these people out here are primarily Midwestern. Our biggest
I'd say so.
draw is Midwestern, and so a lot of
Lindsay
these.
told us 5 different countries are represented.
That's true.
Today,
That's true,
so
and almost
travelers.
all 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
So
almost
yeah,
all 50. Wow. That's
almost
cool.
all. I think there were 3 states missing from the roster.
At least
but-
you're circulating enough. I asked Zach about this, but what is the reputation this race has across the country?
It has a big reputation as a Boston qualifier, number 1. But also it's called a destination race. And part of what people really like about this event is coming here and then staying in the area and enjoying things like the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lake Shore, all of the great amenities that go along with being a tourist town, the shopping, the restaurants. People love that. And a lot of people enjoy the northern Michigan atmosphere of camping, being in the North Woods and enjoying
Getting
nature
away.
and the wildlife. And so it's a destination event is really the best description of what the Bayshore Marathon is.
Definitely.
And like I said earlier, it's 80% people from out of the area, 20% locals. That's out of 7,000 people. That's a lot of people.
It's a good
from-
number to brag about. Good number to
Exactly.
show off to people.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we have our
Yay,
women's half
Emma.
marathon winner on standby, so we'll pull Emma on in here. Hi there.
Hi.
Harrison. Emma.
Emma, nice
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Coca-Cola, the drink of choice after the race, huh?
Absolutely, yes.
A lot of people go for water. Zach, the men's champion, had a chocolate milk, but what you needed the caffeine?
Yeah, I would like the sugars and the high fructose corn syrup.
I'd be right there with you. Yeah, all that stuff that I was missing in those 26 miles, I need it now.
Yeah.
So, Emma, tell us a little bit about your history with the Bayshore. Have you been up here and racing this event before?
Yeah, so this is my first Bayshore. I did the Cherry Fest 15K about a decade ago, but Bayshore has always been on my radar. I'm from Toledo, Ohio originally, so it's about 4 hours south of here. But my family loves, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and I knew Bayshore was a flat, fast course, so I was like, well, I'm going to come out and see what I got. So yeah.
Try it out. And I'd say you had the right stuff, to steal a line from New Kids on the Block. What made today your day to come out here and take home the title?
I trained really hard, so I prepared really well. I trained with the track club in Boulder, Colorado.
Great.
So,
Yeah, you're going to get some great training out there.
yeah, so I had a really great build, and we had a really nice pack through 14 miles, and then we kind of strung out a little bit. And then, honestly, having people pass me that were doing the marathon and then passing people doing the half marathon and getting all the cheers it was really cool.
Yeah, it's, we kind of take pride in this event and being, one of our biggest events for our small town atmosphere. I don't know if you want to label Traverse City as a small town per se, but we're not like a bigger city like a Detroit or a Chicago or even a Grand Rapids in a sense, but this is 7,400 runners here today for all 3 races. That's a pretty big deal. And, I like to say there's, for every one racer here, there's at least 2 or 3 spectators probably as well. So there's several thousand people out there. And you were just harping on, how special that is to help that keep you going in a race like this. When did you know you had the race in? So obviously you had quite the lead on second, but
maybe at the halfway point, because you turn around, and you can see. So I saw where the second place woman was, and I was like, okay, it's pretty early, but I think I got this. Yeah.
So what, first time running this race, the Cherry Fest, it kind of loops you out in the 15K, kind of takes you out a couple miles and comes you back. But now you saw a big chunk of the peninsula today.
Yeah.
What did this race, as far as scenery wise, what is your interpretation of it?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
it's just gorgeous up here with the water, and you know, you run along the water the whole time, like on the East Arm. So yeah, just beautiful.
Sure. Have you noticed the reputation for this event? Being around it, like
I looked at the results from last year and saw it was pretty fast, and so my goal was like 236 to 237. So I was like, okay, I see a lot of people, you know, men, and then the top woman last year went sub 237. So there was like a good chunk of people in that time frame that I was shooting for. So I was like, I think I could go out and get like a good pack to run with and could, you know, achieve my goal.
So safe to say you think you'll be back next year? Or
I might be. Yeah, this was really
I know
fun.
it's tough to commit a year out, but
yeah. No,
it appears you enjoyed your experience
I
there.
did. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. Yeah.
Do you have these super shoes? We've heard rumors about the super shoes. Okay,
Yes.
Lisa was telling me a little about them.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, it almost sounds like you're the way she was describing it sounds like it's an illegal manipulation of the shoe, but I'm sure all that's clear by somebody.
Yeah.
What goes into making a super shoe, and what are the benefits of using it?
Yeah, so there's a carbon plate in a super shoe. So the whole idea is it like returns energy to you. So there's like a bigger stack height on the heel, and it just like more like rolls you forward a little bit with like the stack height, and just that carbon plate returns the energy back to you, as opposed to like a flat that has, you know, that it's just interesting because we went from wearing these like super thin race shoes to now these pretty like chunky.
So those are a little bigger than your average shoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, you know, advancements in technology for running. And so, I mean, I had a great day today, and so I'll take it.
And Lisa said you realistically, you can so many wearing them one time, and they're kind of, or are you going to try and stretch a couple races out of them?
I'll probably stretch a couple
All right.
races out of them. Yeah.
That's what I do too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Emma Cortez, female marathon champion here at the Bayshore Marathon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of your weekend here in Northern Michigan.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of that Coke, too. So that does it for winners here today. We've caught up with 5 of the 6. Catherine Floor, we lost her, but we did see her twin sister, Erica, who won the 10K earlier today. Don't believe any course records today. We had 4 a year ago, which was now insane to think that we had 4 course records go down to the 6 races at this time last year. But, yep, the Bayshore Marathon goes on. We know we have our winners in the books, but there's still several thousand runners still ready to cross the marathon race line here. We know we have 2 Up North Live staff members who are out there on the course right now. Allie Baxter, our extraordinary reporter, she logs a lot of miles in the newsroom, and she's out there right now logging a lot of miles on the course. And Dan Ticknell, one of our great directors at the station. And a shout out to Dan. He takes some of our great drone video, if you've ever seen that on our broadcast. I know I used some drone video of the Bayshore course and of the Pit Spitters Park Turtle Creek Stadium earlier this week. And he does great work for us, and very big part of his day and Allie's day was taking part in that marathon out there right now. So those 2, along with the several thousand other runners that are taking part in this event today. Big shout out to you. Some folks, it's a lifelong goal that they're checking off that bucket list today. Others, they're back for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th. I'd be curious to know how many folks are out here for the 20th, maybe 30th time. This event's been going around for 42 years. I'm sure there's some that have been a part of it for several decades. And so, yeah, this is kind of what it's all about. I'm going to see if we can rope Lisa in for one final quick wrap before we sign off from this camera. But we will have that main camera going for a little bit longer here so you can catch the finish line. Set that. It's tough to hold 2 microphones during a live stream. They're really heavy. It's like working out. But yeah, I think that might be all for us here as far as reporting from the Bayshore finish line. But keep in mind that stream will be up. If you haven't seen the one you're looking for across that finish line, we will keep that live stream up on our second camera for the rest of the Bayshore race. But with all our champions across the finish line, that'll probably do it for our coverage here for another Bayshore Marathon, the 2024 Bayshore Marathon in the books here at Traverse City Central High School for the finish line. Thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast this morning. We hope you enjoyed the rest of your holiday weekend, wherever you are. But thanks so much for carving out some time and making us here at Up North Live in the Bayshore Marathon a little part of it. So we're going to sign off from here. I'm Harrison Beebe reporting live from the Bayshore Marathon in Traverse City. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
It's like he's got GPS. Wow. I can go straight to east. Oh, yeah. Hey, Ben. Good job, buddy. I don't know if I can do it right now. Oh. I've never had it before. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Oh man. I might have to. I know. I tried to salty caramel. I'm a cherry lover, so I think. Maybe I usually do premium. There's another half next week in oh, I like that one. Oh, okay. We'll see how my hit. How many a lot of people are there? Yeah, it's nice. I haven't done it in a while. Well, I ran Boston too soon after. Not very exactly. I was in a wheelchair for 3 days. Oh my God. Well, I qualified and the year was in my birthday week, so I qualified for my birthday. I didn't tell my surgeon. No, I had surgery in January, and we had Boston. Oh, I had COVID. Yeah, it was one year of the action. Oh, I remember. Yeah, COVID. And it was my birthday week. Oh. It was the 125th. I said, how can I go to 125th? Because I went to the 95th, I went to 100, went to 120. So now I'm trying to qualify for the 130. Oh, so it'll be like 35 years of learning velocities. You got a qualify yet? Yeah. We'll see. Don't they have a cutoff date? No. For the 130, it'll be next September, I think. Oh, yeah. So you can do race outs in September. Oh, I thought it is.
Oh my gosh, congratulations!
My wife. She could have stuffed that wine. She would do that. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, she's probably stuffed.
Good, I found something to finish with. All right, we got some
Oh, the wind was blowing, the rain was really shiny, like 30